Inhale, connect with the sky, connect with Source. Exhale, mind, heart, body. Inhale, open everywhere, check in with the land, the earth. Exhale, sink in through your structure, front, back, left and right, finding center, up and down. Expanding your Qi like the sun, and we'll go through the 5 pillars. So let's just review them quickly. For the earth, land or soil, you want to just stay with a quality of stillness and reflection and sensing in on how emotion is held in our body or how memory is held in the body. So let's explore that. Come into your inner landscape, your inner soil. Inhale. We're just being with what we feel. And as the earth, our job isn't to fix it or to make it go away. It's just to receive it and hold it in a conscious way. Metal is about acceptance and receptivity, and of course your breath as it relates to your lungs. So come into your breath, bring awareness to acceptance, receptivity, receiving, maybe accepting things that we need to receive. Inhale. Accepting things we need to receive. Exhale, and actually receiving them, or letting things go. Water, it's about stillness and readiness. So we want to be fluid, we want to be sinking, ready, resourceful. It's a bit like kelp, but maybe more with the immanence of water. All rivers lead to the ocean. Wood, all about structure, your pliability, elasticity, tone. So just exaggerate a little bit our structure, our elasticity, reaching a little farther through our heels, through our fingers. Coming into really good alignment, but a constant feeling of agility, motion, pliability, connection. Fire. Being radiant, being honest, being open, being very expressive, so inhale, exhale. Just like you're flapping wings. Let your body naturally move up and down in a way that kind of leads your wings along, up, down. So your body goes up first, then your wings, then your body drop. Settle our elbows and wrists and swinging together. Notice that we can hold a kind of sacred space and stillness. Flap our wings. Reach out to the sides. Settle. And come back to that stillness. Inhale. What's out there for now needs to stay out there. What's in here, inside your body, inside your awareness and your breath, is here. These are the wings of here and there. Stress can give us some time to practice while we enter into a centered, still, conscious, and embodied state. The future sometimes needs to stay out there so that we can find stillness and readiness right here. The past sometimes needs to be asked to give us some time and some space so we can arrive in the present exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Gathering. Settling. Find the intuitive pace in the sense of how many circles as you inhale and exhale. So find that rhythm that just feels right for you. Then just press a little bit harder with your hands. Not a lot, but just to feel pressure. Then come to a stop. Inhale. Exhale. And find that rhythm that feels just right. Press a little more, then a little less. And find that pressure that feels just right. Slow down, come to a stop. Then playing with that pressure with both hands, just rub on either side of your belly button for a few circles. Just imagine moving any turbid or stuck energy in your abdomen. Just move it around a little. Under your rib cage, till you get to the sides of your body. And then you're just going to reach down and relax. So just turn left and right. And we're going to swing one hand out and around. And then we're going to get the feeling that we're gathering pollen, or if you imagine like dandelion fluff floating around, just going to have the imagined experience of gathering that pollen, pouring it into the pelvis, like your pelvis is a bowl. And as that's happening, the other hand is going to come around, gathering pollen or dandelion, butterflies, whatever you like. And as it pours into the belly, into the lower dantian, or you can imagine it just pouring it over the front of your pelvis into your pelvis. The other one's gathering around. So as this one's pouring, this one's wrapping around and gathering. This one comes in to pour, and pouring and gathering kind of at the same time. So if you want, you can do this with just one hand for a minute. Gather, bring around, sit in front of the abdomen, pour it into the pelvis, reach around with the other side, gather, pour it into the pelvis. And it's important to play with your imagination that way. Now we want to play a little bit more with our aliveness and what we call a dragon body. So now all of our movements are exaggerated, we're going up and down more, we're using our whole core and ribs and spine to move our gathering hand around. And it's just to be more agile, more expressive, more intuitive, and the more we move sometimes like we're dancing, the more the body shows us where it wants to open. And now we want to see if we can feel that we're pulling on the surface of that membrane of the balloon. You know, it's like a stretchy elastic membrane. So now we're going to pull a little bit and feel that the balloon isn't moving us, now we're moving the balloon. So now I draw the balloon open, press the balloon closed. And as I'm doing this, I'm playing with my breath, making more room, and then concentrating. We call this La and Na in Chinese, right? La is to kind of pull and stretch open, make room. Na is to squeeze and gather and to kind of catch something and to keep it from running away. So this is what we're up to. It's also just a nice meditation. Keep your spine open. Breathe with ease, but with intention. Bring your hands around. It's called Monkey Holds the Cauldron. So we just want to have our hands shaped as if we're holding this cauldron up. And this practice can be used in a lot of different ways. It's used often as just a standing meditation posture, but as you'll learn as we go through many different exercises, this becomes the beginning place of about 7 different exercises. So in this one, we're going to open our hands outwards a little bit. Feel like we're gathering something, and as we gather that, we want to bring it towards our belly. And we're not going to bring our hands to the belly, we're just going to bring our hands towards it and feel like there's a little bit of pressure because we're gathering and bringing something. And that's going to allow what's in our hands to seep into our lower body. And as that feeling helps us sink, helps us feel centered, helps us feel warmed and nourished, then the next thing we're going to do as we continue moving our hands, so our hands are now filling our lower dantian, and then we're going to bring our awareness to the center of our heart. And then we're going to bring our awareness to the way we actually are in our face, in our aliveness, in our eyes, through our expression. So when we're doing this practice, what we actually want to do, as strange as this might sound, is to think of the body as an oil lamp. So that when I'm reaching out and gathering and bringing in, I'm actually imagining bringing in lamp oil into the lamp to fill it up. And if you've ever seen a lamp oil, there's the oil fills up a chamber, and then there's a wick that comes up, and there's this little thing that separates the flame from the oil so nothing blows up. And the wick burns kind of like a candle wick, but instead of wax, you have this oil at the bottom of the lamp. So what we're going to do is imagine that the wick is in the center of your heart, and the flame that comes above the heart, or above the wick, that little spark, is your experience of being conscious, or what we call shun, or spirit. So I just inhale, exhale, filling the lamp. As the oil becomes abundant, the flame can rise. But I'm going to do this in 3 parts. So as I'm filling the oil, my primary focus is just inhaling and exhaling and bringing awareness and nurturing my lower dantian. After a few breaths, my hands are going to just point upwards just a little bit, because I want to have this feeling that on some level I can help the oil go up the wick to get to the spark, to get where the flame is. So I'm just going to focus on feeling that oil coming up the wick, and then the spark getting brighter. We're not going to do anything with the flame yet. So oil coming in, feeling that oil climbing up in the body, through the center of the body, filling the wick, building the potential for flame. And as we do that a little more, we're going to notice that we can actually maybe feel or visualize like an actual coal or ember brightening and warming in the center of the chest. So we don't want to force that, but we just want to be open to the feeling of more oil, more ember, more light, more warmth. Oil comes into the lamp, oil comes up the wick, the ember gets warm. And then now the ember is going to get warm and the flame is going to come up. And now we're going to focus on the flame. So oil, up the wick, ember. And the feeling that comes to mind, if I could try and describe this, is the way maybe a child would feel when one of their favorite relatives comes into the room and they haven't seen them in a while, and we're like, oh, you know, we get to have this connection with something safe and wise and beautiful and interesting and magical, like, I don't know, when you're 3 years old and you meet your grandparents or something. Fill the chamber, heat up the ember. The chamber, up the wick, ember glowing. Just become light, become love, become connection, joy, generosity. You can see I'm straightening my legs, opening my chest, and just opening. So we inhale, oil comes in, oil comes up the wick, ember gets bright, and open your heart, open your face, soften your tongue. In Chinese medicine, all of these relate to your heart. Oil, up the wick, ember. You can stay like this for as long as you want. I'm looking right to the sun with my closed eyes. That feels nice. So it's just an innocent, childlike play. Oil, wick, ember, flame. And sometimes, and I don't recommend doing this too many times, but you can go oil, follow the oil up, wick, flame, gather some oil, fill up the wick, ember, coming up. You can just do that forever and ever and ever, or for a few minutes. So with our filling cauldron, glowing heart or radiant heart, we're bringing the lamp oil in, feeling the lamp oil come up the wick, heating the ember of the heart, generating more light, more radiance, more warmth, more glowing, more spirit, more perhaps audacity, playfulness. We inhale, gather, exhale, wick comes up, ember, flame. So as we're feeling this, there's another quality of this practice that's a deep Taoist meditation, which you can do standing like this, you can do seated, you can do lying down, waiting in a lineup for your morning coffee or something. And just keep exploring this movement and that context of bringing in the lamp oil, activating your Qing, your essence, your mojo, so you feel that in your body. Feeling your Qing coming up your middle. Don't get too literal about where and how and why. It's just an image. Feel the ember warming. Feel the fire coming up. So just stay with that. In Taoist practice, one of the things we hold in a certain regard is the idea of zhen. And zhen is often translated as truth, authentic. It's attributed to the way the indigenous people of Asia experience their lives, if not all the indigenous people in the world. The term in Chinese is zhenren, or the true human beings. And interestingly, the name true human beings is consistent for the names that indigenous tribes give themselves all over the world. So the only reason I bring that up is we're going to want to drop into an experience of what it's like to be very honest, very authentic, very present, but very present to something in life that helps us mature, become wise, let go, heal in certain ways, come to accept and hopefully love ourselves in many ways. So when we look at the character for zhen, if you can see this, there's a part on the bottom that is meant to be a brazier, kind of like a slow warming barbecue. And then the middle part is your experience of yourself as a self. And the upper part is actually flowers coming out. So my favorite way to describe this character is you want to cook your identity and your ego and kind of like turn over call it the BS, if you will, or the stuff that we really need to move on from. And that's where the beauty of our lives, of our spirit, of our soul, of our inner nature can come out. So when we're playing with this practice, and there's several other like it, we bring in the lamp oil, which symbolizes our innate animal energy. You could say that kind of cellular gur and purr quality. So if I have that experience, that's the lamp oil. I'm a body, I'm alive. I can focus on sensation and my needs and pleasures and connections. As we come up the wick, we choose to use our resources and our adaptability to show up in the world. Now that's going to be determined by your world and your childhood and what you need right now. But it's to notice that we're either conscious of who's making those distinctions, what we're doing with our life energy, what we're doing with our essence, what we're doing with our flame, or we're just doing it because that's our conditioning. And this is a big part of spiritual practice in meditation. Is this actually you? Or is this your conditioning? And of course it's a mixture of both. But can we choose to bring our Qi Gong practice, our meditation practice, into that relationship gather our Jing, come up to our spark, choose our flame, and also choose the flame as a place to, you could say, offer compost, offer bad choices, offer things you might need to forgive yourself for. So this is a lovely attribute of Qigong, where we can actually do some self-healing, almost a kind of self-therapy, all while just standing and breathing, being a lamp, being the ember, the spark of life, being the flame, and making really good choices. Over years and years and years, as you cook the proverbial BS of life and turn it into beauty. And that's maybe a part of why we're here. Inhale, reach out and up, back, and around. Exhale, settling, like you're holding something like the moon at your chest, if the moon was this big. And what we're going to do is turn to one side. Hands are going to slowly turn over. Reach out. Turn. And reach out and up. This is called Wise Owl. Looks back at the moon. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Settle in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Settling our Qi, go through the 5 pillars. The earth, the soil, our somatic experience, memories, emotions, and just holding them in a good way. Being stable like a mountain, still. Metal, receptive, accepting, deep breathing. And also some letting go. Water, stillness and readiness. And fluidity. Wood, for structure, elasticity, tone, big, stretchy, reaching, opening, heels to your fingertips. and fire. Being expressive, being open. Inhale, hands reach up. Exhale, just closing your practice. Inhale, closing the practice. Coming down the midline, sealing any energetic boundaries you need. Feeling the shape of that protective Qi bubble, just relaxing. Last closing. Closing your midline, sealing your energy. Inhale. Bring your feet together. Exhale. If you choose, you can bow to the generations that have come before. It's optional. You don't have to do that. This is also optional, but you can take a sense of the Qi you've cultivated today and send it to everyone in the world or to someone specific. And just breathe in. And send that good Qi to where it needs to go. And that's a way of expressing our generosity and gratitude for having our practice and being able to share it.